Successful versus unsuccessful people. What determines a difference? Another thing to recognize is that you can have somebody that's incredibly successful, but not happy or not joyful or not content with their lives. And so what separates that and what is the difference? So I wanted to have a chance to dig into this idea of have, do, be compared to be, do, have. And most people in life live a have, do, be mentality. There's an individual that I had the opportunity to coach and work with, and incredibly successful real estate agent. She was a #1 real estate agent in her state. She was on a reality TV show, and she was the most unhappy people that I had the chance to work with, and she was never content. She never felt gratitude. It was always, well, we don't have this, or we don't have the house here, and it's not complete here, and our team isn't where it needs to be. And there's a level in which that we want to, of course, continue to improve, but she lived this have, do, be mentality. And that very simply states that if I have more money, then I can do the things that I want to do in life, therefore I will be happy. What we want to do, because of course we all know that that's a recipe for disaster. That never works. What happens is we have those individuals that live a have, do, be mentality, and then they end up going and buying a $70,000 vehicle to compensate for the fact that they don't feel happy. Because what drives their happiness has more to do with the things that they want to acquire and bring in. So what we want to do is shift that mindset to be, do, have. And be, do, have is very simple. It's the idea of focusing on what are the character traits, the be character traits that you want to live by, and focusing on those. Therefore, you can do the things that are important to you in life. Therefore, you can have the things that are important to you. And so I have another client that I had the privilege of working with. He was in Kenya, and he was a sales manager, did well for himself within the community, but compared to some clients in the US, obviously the income wasn't as high. But he was one of the most joyful people I had the opportunity to coach. And I remember I was on a Zoom call, and we were actually doing it on his phone. And he'd gone back to his childhood home. He was with his family's village. And he's sitting outside of his childhood home, and he interrupts me, and he's like, Will, look. And he turns the camera around, and he's like, look, it's a cow. And just this cow just wandering past the screen, just doing his thing, chopping on something. And he's like, that's our cow. And I had to take a step back, and I was just filled with so much joy from just the joy that he had and just being home and being grateful for the people that were around him. And so again, if we tie it back to who is the type of person that we want to be, focusing on that, not focusing on the things that we have. If you focus on the things you want to be, it leads into the things that we need to do in our lives that are important. Therefore, we'll create the things that we do want to have in our lives. So to recap, the idea of what creates a successful, happy person compared to a successful person that maybe isn't content, compared to an unsuccessful person. It's what drives you and what are your key motivating factors internally. And again, it goes back to who's the type of person that I'm creating, who is the be mentality that leads to the do, the things that I need to do in life that creates the have. And so again, if you found value in this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. We're gonna have a chance to dig a little deeper into be, do, have compared to have, do, be. There's no stat that we currently have on happiness and tracking, but I'd probably assume that if we polled most of the clients that we've had a chance to coach over the year and over years, they would say that they do feel more content and happy with their lives, because again, how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you're working in one area of your life, if you're working on improving your business and you're doing it properly, that bleeds into everything else. If you're working on your physical life, that bleeds into your professional life. So if you want to have a chance to learn a little bit more, or if you just want to communicate, my phone number is right below along with my email. Let's grow.